afternoon, everybody. You're live with New Image College. Thanks for joining in. Make sure you've subscribed if you haven't already, and ding the bell so you get all of our notifications. So today we are just going to do a bit of review. We want to review on sanitation, disinfection protocols, and we want to make sure that everybody is familiar with all of these different terminologies. So I know that Anna has put those terminologies in your folders, so I want to make sure that you guys are writing out the definitions to all of those. I'll read through them with you today, and then I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to show you what a disinfection jar looks like, what barbicide or marvicide looks like, which is a disinfectant for implements, one of many. And I want to just make sure that when you guys are doing this at home, you're doing it properly. You have to remember that using alcohol or acetone or bleach or certain chemicals on your tools, on your implements, will make them dull or make them rust. So if you can get an EPA registered disinfectant, that would be ideal. So we're going to do a little review. And you guys also have a nail art project that you are going to be assigned. So that was also put into your folders, or I'm not sure if she emailed it or put it into your folders, but you have to research 5 different influencers. So different influencers on YouTube. So nail art influencers. Who do you watch on YouTube? What lessons, what people, what training do you watch on YouTube when you're looking for nail tutorials, when you're looking for nail art tutorials, step-by-step acrylic, step-by-step gel procedures? Do you follow anybody? If you do, awesome. We want you to write down those names and give us some information about them. All the protocol for the project is on your outline. And if you don't follow anybody and you don't have any influencers, you should. So this is going to be a good opportunity for you to do some research and find influencers that do nails and create nail art that you're passionate about. Okay? So make sure you start on your influencer nail art project. And I'm going to go through some popular nail shapes. I want you guys to, on your acrylic nails that you've completed, you've builded your acrylic nails, you've got a full, thick, structured nail, I want to make sure that you are shaping them really nice and shaping them into the most popular shapes, like coffin, ballerina, pointed, round, squoval. So I want to see those shapes. So that's what you guys will be working on. And then I'm going to do some demos. I want to go over how to make a proper structure with an acrylic nail. And then I'll do a few more nail art designs and see where you guys are at in terms of your nail art designs. I hope everyone got a chance to practice. And I hope everybody is working on their acrylic nails at home, okay? So let's get started with our terminologies. Now again, you guys, you've already done this chapter, but it's an important chapter, so I want to always review terminologies with you and disinfection protocol. So what you need to complete this week is your sanitation and disinfection terms, okay? So your terminologies, you will find them in your folder. It just has all the terms here, and you just have to write in the definitions, okay? And you'll find all the definitions in your chapter, okay? Your sanitation and disinfection chapter. So the first one is allergic sensitizer. So an allergic sensitizer is a substance that causes serious allergic reactions due to prolonged and repeated exposure. So do you guys remember what the main allergic sensitizer is, or one of the main allergic sensitizers? Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a very strong allergic sensitizer. It can cause allergic reactions and it can cause cancer. One thing before we move on, ladies, I just want to confirm that everybody's here. So I know lots of people check in and they say hi or they ask questions at the end. If you don't message or say hi or ask questions, I need you to just write in when you join in, I'm here. Just put I'm here, type it in the message, and then your name will pop up and then we'll give you attendance. It's really important that you do this now because we're taking a stricter attendance of everybody that's in our live lessons, and we want to make sure that everyone's getting the hours that they deserve. Okay? Thank you. Antiseptics. Sanitizers that help prevent skin infections by reducing the number of pathogens in an opening in the skin. So an antiseptic is a type of sanitation that is safe on the skin. So when you have a cut, what would be an example of an antiseptic? Things you put on a cut at home or in school. Remember that green liquid or that blue liquid that we had? If you cut your client or you cut yourself or your partner, what was that liquid called? It was called styptic liquid. So styptic liquid would be a type of antiseptic. Hydrogen peroxide is an antiseptic. Alcohol can be used as an antiseptic. Iodine, boric acid, even polysporin is an antiseptic. Okay? A bactericide. A bactericide is a disinfectant that kills bacteria. Contaminated, made impure by contact, tainted, or polluted. So contaminated is something that's come into contact with a contaminant. Decontamination is the elimination of contaminants on a surface. So to decontaminate means removing all pathogens on a surface. So that means that you are using a disinfectant to do that. There's 3 types of decontamination. So you have the highest level of decontamination, which you know as sterilization. The second level, the lower level, is disinfection, which is what we use in the salon. And then the lower level below that is sanitation, which is just the spray and wipe method. Alcohol sanitizes. And then below that is antiseptics, which is safe for the skin. Disinfection or disinfectants destroy pathogens on implements and other non-living surfaces. Disinfection destroys contaminants on implements and non-living surfaces. Disinfection container is a glass, metal, or plastic container that holds your disinfectant solution. Fungicides destroy fungus. Formaldehyde, a suspected human cancer-causing agent found in formalin. Hospital-level disinfectant. So a hospital-level disinfectant, you need to know, kills 3 things, 3 main things: bacteria, fungus, and virucides. So in order to be EPA registered, hospital grade, your disinfectant has to kill all 3 things, okay? And that's what you have to use in a salon. Barbicide, Marvicide, CS20, Virilex. There's lots of disinfectants out there. They can be used in hospitals and they kill all bacteria, except for spores. MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet, a document supplied by an employer that lists all the harmful chemicals used in the salon. Pathogens are disease-causing microorganisms. Phenolics, highly effective concentrated liquid disinfectants used in salons. Quats, safe and fast-acting disinfectant used in salons, very cost-effective. Quats is the most common. Sanitation, the lowest level of decontamination possible. Sanitation, again, is just the use of alcohol, spray and wiping on surfaces. That's just sanitation. It reduces the number of pathogens on a surface. It doesn't necessarily kill all of them. Sterilization, the highest level of decontamination. So sterilization kills all bacteria, all viruses, all fungus, and all spores. So we don't really need to sterilize in a salon. Remember, sterilization is the highest level. It kills spores. That only needs to happen in a medical setting, hospitals. Do spores harm us in the salon? No, they don't. When bacteria are inactive, they form that hard outer covering, that spore, and they're bouncing around everywhere right here. There's spores on me, there's spores here, there's spores on my coffee. They're not going to harm us. Only in favorable conditions, dark, damp, and unsanitary, do the spores open up and start reproducing. Okay? Virucides, disinfectants that kill pathogenic viruses, and wet sanitizers. Covered receptacles large enough to hold a disinfectant solution. So a wet sanitizer, you need to know, is exactly the same as a disinfection container. Okay? It's a container that holds that blue liquid or that disinfectant liquid that you submerge your implements in completely. And we know that our implements have to be submerged completely for how many minutes? Do you guys remember? How many minutes do you have to submerge your metal implements in to completely disinfect? At least 10 minutes, no more than 15 minutes. What happens if you leave your metal implements in 10 to 15 minutes? Good, Mary. What happens if you leave your metal implements in longer than that? What happens to your nippers, your sharp-edged implements? It makes it dull, exactly. And you don't want to have to go out and keep buying these implements because they're expensive. So follow your disinfection protocol perfectly. Okay, so that's all you guys really have to do. I want you to review your sanitation and disinfection terms, write out all of the terminologies, and make sure you have that in your folder by the end of the week. Okay, you'll get marks for that. Make sure you are figuring out what influencers you want to research. There's lots of influencers on YouTube, lots to choose from. So I guess you guys are going to pick 5. And don't forget, at the end of this live session, you guys have to finish your exit card. So your exit cards have some questions on them that pertain to the lesson that we are learning today. So that's going to help us gauge your attendance and what you've learned from the lesson. Okay, so make sure you complete those and email them back. Okay, so let's just talk about disinfection protocol. So do you have to disinfect your acrylic brush? Do you have to disinfect your acrylic brush like your metal implements? No, you don't. You don't have to disinfect your acrylic brush because it's already dealing with toxic volatile chemicals. Your brush always has that monomer liquid on it. No bacteria, no viruses can survive or live on those bristles, okay? So you don't have to disinfect. If you disinfected your acrylic brush, you would wreck it completely. The bristles would go completely fray. So anything that's touching the skin that you're manipulating the tissue with, you're pushing back the cuticle, your cuticle pusher, your metal cuticle pusher, you're nipping the cuticle. You're actually nipping into the tissues of the client, need to be disinfected. Your foot paddle, when you're doing callus removal, you're actually taking skin off the body, you're taking skin off the heel. You have to disinfect that. So Yes, we know with all of our metal implements, we have to submerge them fully. But what do we have to do first? You guys, we're going to open it up now. Yeah, good, Marie. Just clean with monomer for your acrylic brush, yes. With our metal implements though, what do we have to do first before we submerge them in disinfectant? And a lot of people cut corners like this. Yeah, exactly. Clean with hot soapy water. Thank you. A lot of people cut corners and they think if they just throw their implements in, they're in a hurry, they're back to back, they have another client they have to work on. They just throw their implements in the disinfection and grab them and use them on the next client. And that is not the way you do it. That is not going to work. Every time you do that, it lessens the effectiveness of that disinfectant. And if that disinfectant isn't 100% effective, you might as well throw it out. Yeah, exactly. Soap and warm water. So wash your metal implements really good with a little brush, little scrub brush. I like to use the nail brush that you guys have in your kits and scrub all along the little joints and all along all the little edges. Really good. Rinse with hot water. Try to take off any excess water because you don't want to dilute the effectiveness of the disinfectant. And then place in the disinfectant. They have to be fully submerged, okay? And they go in, you close the lid, we wait 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, between 10 and 15 minutes, we take them out, and then what do we do? I'll leave this open for you guys to answer. After we take our metal implements out of the disinfection, what do we have to do next? Guys, remember? You should rinse the disinfectant off. Yeah, dry with a towel and store in a sterilized area. Yeah. Rinse the disinfectant off quickly first, just a little bit under the sink, just to get it off. And then, yeah, dry. Yeah. Rinse and dry and store in a sanitary environment. Okay? So I can't be there watching you guys right now and making sure that you're doing all of these steps correctly, but I just want to make sure that this is happening in your home. This is happening at home. We don't want to have any cross-contamination with your implements. We don't want to be using implements on ourselves, on our friends, on our mothers, on our sisters, without them being completely properly disinfected, okay? We want to make sure that everyone's health is being taken care of and that you're using the utmost, highest levels of decontamination, okay? And make sure, you guys, if you're wondering about what kind of disinfectant to buy, where to get disinfectants now, because a lot of businesses have closed down. There still are a lot of businesses that sell disinfectants and sell online and deliver. So if you're having troubles finding a place, just let me know during the Zoom tomorrow or just email me and I can give you some places that are still able to ship product to you straight to your house. Okay, everybody should make sure that you have a proper disinfection jar, and access, obviously, here at home to hot soapy water. Okay? Good. So that's a little reminder. Sanitation terms, disinfection of your implements. Okay, I'm going to do a little demo on shaping, and then again, I want you guys to do your shapes and send them in to me. Take a picture and just email it or pop it in your folder, okay? We want to try to eventually get everyone putting all their work in the folders so it's easier for us to access when we're marking. So if you can do that, that would be great. Okay. So if you guys want to work along with me, that would be great. You can set up your stations now. I'm just going to grab my stuff and set up my station, and I'll be back in a minute or two. Amir, I'm just going to take this off for a minute. Okay guys, let's go over our acrylic nail techniques and nail shapes. It's really important, yes, to create a perfect acrylic nail, but you need to know how to shape it. Your sidewalls have to be even and parallel. Your free edge has to be really smooth, and your corners and your edges have to be really smooth. So you have to make sure that you are beveling. Yes, you have to file the edges and make the edges nice and crisp, but you also have to bevel with your buffer. Nail tips. Here. Okay, so we'll use this one nail as an example. So what nail shape do you think this nail would be? I think you guys can see that. Have to be acrylic on the fake nails too, or can I shape them on the fake nails without acrylic? No, they have to be on an acrylic nail. So I want you to build the nail. You can pre-shape the tip if you want, but I want it to be on a built nail. So remember we did these, we did the boomer, the two-tone French. So basically on your practice nails that you've already done, I just want you to fine-tune them and shape them if you already haven't. If you've already shaped them, then that's great. Take pictures and send them. So what shape do you think that is? No, not round. Guess again. Squoval. Yes, it's squoval. Good job. Okay, so squoval is a flat free edge with rounded edges. So it's not as hard as a square because it has rounder, softer edges, but it still has a flat free edge. Yeah, squoval. Perfect. So squoval is one of the shapes I want you guys to practice. This one, I guess, would be more square. That was the white one we did. That was one of the first ones we did. So you can see the corners are sharp. The corners are very square. They're not rounded. So that would be square. Let's see that. So square, also very popular. But I want to show you how to taper your nails. I want to see like a ballerina nail. I want to see a pointed nail. I want to see a coffin nail. Those are harder to keep symmetrical from the left to the right. So I want to practice that with you right now, okay? So I have this one. What other ones can we practice on? That one and this one. Okay, so we will practice on these four. So these are just kind of random generic shapes. I'm going to shape them and contour them with my medium or rough grit file. Just make sure that you ladies are wearing your mask when you're filing. If you don't have masks at home, make sure you get one. You do not want to breathe in all this nail dust. And you guys are working from home, so the nail dust is probably staying in your breathing zone. It's staying in the room. In the nail room here, we have a local exhaust system. But as long as you're wearing your mask, it will protect you against those dust particles, okay? So I want just kind of playing with some shapes with the other class. So if you want to pre-shape your nail, I think that's better if I put it under black. So if you want to pre-shape your nail, so this is just a tip. This is a, what one is this? This is a pointed nail. So you can pre-shape, but I still want you to build the body, build the acrylic body on top, okay? And then shape and rebalance and top coat, okay? A square. Squoval. Okay. So let's do a coffin shape, okay? So I've already built this nail. It's kind of a generic squoval shape. And we're going to make it into a coffin. So you have to be careful with coffin. You have to make sure that the left matches the right. Otherwise, it's not going to look symmetrical at all. Okay. So I'm going to make sure right away that the free edge is nice and straight across. Okay. Then I'm going to taper the corners. And yes, if this nail was actually on someone's finger or it was on your finger, you could use the drill to do the same thing. So I'm just tapering that corner, just tapering this corner. Now I'm going to taper the other corner. You can taper it in as much as you want. You can make it as defined as you want. Cleaning underneath, getting all those stray bits. Oh. Okay. So you can see you have one angle on this side, one angle on this side, and a straight free edge. So if this was actually on someone's nail, you could see that it's wider at the base, at the cuticle. I don't know if you guys can see that. And it tapers in. It comes to a blunt free edge. Okay? And just taper and soften the free edge a little bit so you guys can see that that is more of a coffin shape. Okay, so you're going to do coffin, square, squoval. This one is already kind of tapered, so we're going to make this boring round nail into an oval. Or I guess we'll make it into more of a ballerina nail. So I'm going to contour this and taper this quite hard. Let's see. And make sure the tip is perfectly round and tapered. Okay. So I want you to do that shape. That one right here. And then I want you to do a pointed nail. So this is a pointed nail. I'm actually going to build my acrylic on top of this. I want you guys to watch me. I want to show you how to build the smaller nails, like the pinky nails. You don't have to do the pinky nail in 3 steps or 3 balls of acrylic necessarily, because it's a smaller surface area to work with. So sometimes you can do the smaller nails in 1 ball. So I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? And I want you to start practicing doing your smaller nails. It's not going to work on the thumb or the middle finger or even the pointer finger yet. You need a lot more practice. But maybe with the pinky fingers, I want you to start practicing with 1 bead of acrylic. And we start at the cuticle and we bring it down over the free edge, okay? So create your pointed nail, buff it. Now pointed doesn't mean sharp. Okay. So that is our nice pointed shape. And I'm going to add acrylic on top and create my acrylic nail. Okay. I'm going to get my little hook and use my hook to put my nail onto. This is what the double-sided sticky tape looks like. You can get it from the dollar store, and it's kind of like a thicker foam, and you just peel this back off. Like that. Place it on your hook, and then place your nail on. Okay. So I'm going to do this. What color should I use so you guys can see? Why don't I use, I'll use Cover Pink. Cover Pink's always good. We've got our Cover Pink. Get our monomer. I have my acrylic brush. And soften the bristles. Okay, so we're going to do this with 1 acrylic bead. Okay, so imagine where your cuticle line would be. Make sure you get a big enough bead of acrylic. Okay. And we're starting here. Form the cuticle. Start at the cuticle and just bring your acrylic all the way down. Now my bead wasn't big enough, so you can see I came down to about there. So I'm just going to add a little bead and keep going. Always add it to the stress point. The stress point is always the highest part of the nail. Bring it over and to the end. Now, my stress point, oh, too high, sorry. My stress point needs a little bit more. So I obviously didn't use enough. My nail was a little longer than I thought, but you guys get the idea. I want you to start playing with your ratio of monomer liquid to polymer powder. And I want you to try to do your pinky nails, your small nails only, not your big nails. And I want you to try to do them in one bead. Okay? So you saw that. I started at the cuticle, and then I worked my way down, slowly guiding the product all the way down to the tip. Okay? So try those. I want you to practice. Try at least 5 small pinky fingernails and do it with one ball, one bead. Okay? Now I also want to show you another technique. Take this nail off. Turn it around. I want to show you a 2-color method French. So we did the boomer, which is a type of French, but I want to show you French with 2 dark colors. So a dark colored body and a dark colored free edge. So again, you guys, remember I showed you how to mix pigments. If you have any kind of mineral powder or pigment powder, you can mix that with your white or clear acrylic, and you can create a different color if you want to experiment with different colors. Okay? For now, why don't we use some blue. Actually, you know what? Let's do blue and cover pink. Those go nice together. So this time though, let's do the blue as the free edge. So let's do blue as the tip and the cover pink as the body. So if we're doing 2 solid colors, we have to do the body first and then the free edge. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the body and then the free edge, creating a 2-color method French look. Okay. Get a nail. Let's do this nail. I'll just quickly file this over here. Okay. Quick duster brush. So I just did a quick file and buff and duster brush. We're going to build our body first and then the free edge. Put this on and stick my nail on. Okay, so let's do our nice cover pink body. Okay, so we've done our body. Maybe I want to perfect my cuticle line a little more. You can see the free edge is still clear. Okay, now don't worry about your body being high or having a high C curve right now, because if we're doing two solid colors, we can't rebalance over top of this and have our free edge seam perfect. So we have to apply our two color method, our two solid colors, then a layer of clear, and then we rebalance. Okay, just like the boomer. If you file into the solid colors, you're going to ruin the shape that you've created, or the design, okay? So now we're going to do the free edge. And we're going to do blue. Let's see. And you're just going to place your blue. And it should fall perfectly into the grooves you've created. Going around, going around. So far, we need a little more in the corner. So we'll get some more product. And just fill in the little space that you created. Okay, that's what it looks like so far. You see the side, pretty flat. Make sure your smile is perfect. Okay, now we're going to cover with clear. Okay. Oh. I don't know if I have clear here. That's white. Okay, well I can use Elegant Pink. It's like a translucent pink. So we'll cover that up. Just make sure that if you have like really dark blues or reds or purples, if it's still a little bit wet, if it's still polymerizing, and then you go and you put a clear on top, it might bleed. So just make sure you don't see as much shine. So maybe give it a minute. Let it polymerize a little bit more before you do your clear. And then we rebalance as normal, and that's your two-color method French. Okay. So we're going to do the stress point and bring it down. Okay, you can see now I'm building up my stress point, my C curve. Now the cuticle. And if you need to add a little bit more on the free edge, that's fine. More is better, especially when you're rebalancing. You don't want to file into the color. And I'm just going to feather back. Okay. Probably even a little bit more. And keep adding until you're happy with your nail. I think that's good. Okay, so now we've covered it completely with clear, and you can see the C curve. And I will rebalance it as I would normally and top coat it. Okay, so I want you guys to practice at least 5 of these. If you don't have any colors and you don't have any pigments to create your own colors, that's fine. Just practice with your cover pink and your white. You can see the definite line with the white, and you can see the definite line with the cover pink. We're not doing boomer. I want you to practice doing the body first. And maybe do the body white. If you're going to only do white and cover pink, do the body white and then do the cover pink French. Okay, and try to make your line as crisp as possible. You can make it as exaggerated, your French line exaggerated as you want. You can make it straight across. You can just experiment with different shapes. Having a nice straight square free edge is quite popular right now too. Not so smiley. So up to you guys. Okay? So work on those different nail shapes and work on your 2-color method French 2-tone nail. And that's all we're going to do today. Make sure that you guys start working on your project, on your influencers in nail art on YouTube, and make sure you get all those terminologies done. Okay? All right, we'll open it up for questions now. My liquid doesn't wet the powder when I dip in for some reason. Oh, okay. Are you making sure your brush is completely saturated? Completely saturate the, oh, I need more. Completely saturate your bristles. And then when you're going in, make sure your bristles are really wet. When you're going in, make sure you're just not dipping in. Make sure you are dipping the tip in, pulling, and grabbing a bead. Okay, so it's just on the tip that you're grabbing that product. Okay? It should work. Maybe make sure you have your product out tomorrow during Zoom, and I can watch you and I can help troubleshoot with you, okay? If the brush isn't wet enough, your bead will be kind of crusty and dry. So but it should pick up just right on the tip of the brush. Nice little bead. Any more questions, ladies? There's a part of my brush that became hard. Okay. Yeah, that's from not cleaning your brush good enough. So when you go in, this always happens. I stress to you guys to clean your brush in between applications because this always happens. But you have to, so say I have monomer liquid on my brush and I go in and I get my little bead and then I put it on my nail. And now all of this product is in my bristles. You can see it. See all of that product? But then I'm gonna start on something else, or I'm gonna prep some gel, so I put my brush down, or I just kind of wipe quickly, and then there's still product in my bristle. So you have to go back in between every application. I need more. And I have to almost fan out my bristles. Fan them out, make sure they're really wet, then go and gently clean, then get more monomer, then I can apply more product. So basically you just have hard acrylic in your bristles. So you need brush cleaner. Don't try, you might be able to soak, if you just soak in monomer for an hour, if it's just a little bit of residue, it might help, but if it's a lot of residue, if it's a big chunk, you need brush cleaner. Don't use acetone or alcohol, that won't work. Try to order brush cleaner online. Yeah. Brush cleaner is fine, it won't wreck your bristles, but it's the only thing that will emulsify that hard acrylic that's stuck in your bristles. But yeah, you can go on to AliExpress, aliexpress.com, sells brush cleaner, really good price, quick delivery, and I'm sure there's local distributors, beauty suppliers that will sell it. It's easy to get. But brush cleaner specific for acrylic brushes. Okay, ladies, if there are no more questions, we're going to talk tomorrow during Zoom, so we can troubleshoot then as well. Again, practice your nail shapes. I want you to practice that one ball acrylic bead on a small pinky nail. Try to do it in one bead and try to make sure that it's not completely flat. Try to make sure that you can get that C curve and that high point on your nail. And practice your two-color method, French. Starting with the body and then finishing with the free edge and then topping it off with a clear acrylic and then rebalancing as normal, okay? Awesome. The name of brush for 3D nail art, it's just called 3D nail art brush. That's the name. So just punch in 3D nail art brushes and it'll come up. It'll come up that you can get buy individual ones. You can buy them in packs of 3, packs of 5, packs of 10. But it's just a 3D acrylic nail art brush. I don't know. Yeah, I do prefer a bigger brush. When I was first learning though, and I find that a lot of my students, when they're first learning, they pick up too much on a bigger brush. And then they make these big talons that they have to drill down and file down, and it's a lot of work. So this is a medium-sized brush. I find we started with smaller brushes, and they're too small. This is the perfect size for a starter brush. If you're getting more confident and you do want to pick up more acrylic and you want to build more of a higher, longer nail, then I definitely suggest a bigger brush or bigger bristles. But this is the perfect size for learning. Yeah, this is a 10. 14's good too. 14's a good size. You're welcome. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I didn't see many people on last week's Zoom, so please try to hop on to that tomorrow. Again, it counts for attendance, so if you're not part of the Zoom, you do lose attendance marks. If you join in on the Zoom, make sure I can see your faces. I don't want to just see your name or a picture. And we'll talk tomorrow. Bye, guys.